Welcome back to the next video in this series. Today we're going to have a look at the weapons sheet where weapons have, because it's a d6 system, you only roll a d6, but to make things a little bit more interesting, weapons can do damage, a range of damage, but the damage is not going to be 1 to 6. Nor is it just going to be straight 1 to 3 or 1 to 2, which would be a simple halving of the die or thirding of the die. So what they have is a scale. So the scale might be quite bottom heavy. So you might have 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, so that if you roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4, the actual damage is 1. If you roll a 5, damage is 2, and if you roll a 6, the damage is 3, or any other sort of variation of that. So we'll have a quick look at that in the character sheet. We've got a sword, and the sword has got 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. So a 1 or a 2, you get 2 damage. A 3 or a 4, you get 3 damage. A 5 or a 6, and you get 4 damage. Here is our dagger. So a 1, 2, or a 3 gives you 1 point of damage. A 4 or 5 gives you 2 points of damage, and a 6 gives you 3 damage. So what we need to do here is actually throw a dice, look at the value on that dice, and then replace the damage statement with a lookup from this table or this array. Now it's not strictly an array, we've actually got 6 different fields here. So let's dive in and have a look at those. So we go and have a look at our weapon detail. So we can see here we've got our name, we've got our icon, the attack icon or the rolling icon. Then we've got 6 fields, and these 6 fields are labeled weapon underscore 1 through weapon underscore 6. Then we have a link field. What I've also added here is an additional text field, which is going to be off screen. And I've done this as a workaround because I couldn't work out how to get this to happen any other way, and later on I may find a better way to do that. So let's have a quick look. So the first thing that we've got is on the window class itself we have a script. So we've got on init, so the first time this is displayed in any one session, it'll run update, which is this function here. It'll run that update. And on drop, so anytime this is dropped, it will also run update. And the update script will get the database node, it'll get the path, and it will use that information to set this value here as the node path for this weapon entry. So we're going to write it into this string here. What we've also got on here is a rollable icon. So this button, so we've labeled it with the sword icon, and the dice roll string is 1d6. We have a roll description, damage roll, this is text, and then we're going to run a script, manager rolls damage roll. But we're also going to do something a little sneaky. In here in collection, we are going to send the name of this weapon. So the name field will be sent as weapon name. This will get appended to the rroll array. And we've also got one called sWeapon node, and that is going to send the value of this text field, which will have the node value in here. So hidden node. So these values will get sent in the rroll to our manager rolls damage roll. Let's have a look at that script. So we've got function damage roll. We are going to we accept rsource, rtarget, and rroll. Now again, rsource and rroll are the important ones here. Rtarget can or can't be set. It doesn't really matter. Because of the nature of the system, these rolls are opposed, but they're opposed manually, and the order in which these things happen may not always be consistent every time, so we're just going to manually roll those out. The GM will adjudicate. But rsource and rroll will always get passed to it. So we first initiate a message using rsource and rroll. That's going to get the actor's details, and this is going to get the role details. We want to get the character sheet node, and we're going to get it from RSource. This is my code to always ensure that the character's portrait is displayed in chat even if the GM is rolling. Next, we're going to store the SWeapon node, which is the node that we got from the hidden field. We passed it in our role. We're going to store that as node weapon. We are going to get the result of the first dice. So R rolled a dice 1. We're only throwing 1 dice, but it will pick it up from the first dice. We're going to get the result value. So it'll be a number from 1 to 6. What we are going to do then is set a variable called nDamage, and rather than it matching result, what we're going to do is we're going to take this result. So if we threw a 3, we're then going to do a lookup on the weapon node weapon, which is our pointing to our weapon entry, and we're going to look up weapon underscore the dice value. So this will be weapon underscore 3, and we're going to find that value that's stored on that database entry, and that's the actual damage that this weapon will do. Then we're going to create our text message. So I'm going to say that Gundren rolled whatever he actually rolled, and then the weapon name, did damage, and our calculated damage. Then we're going to, so R rolled a dice dot value and R rolled a dice dot result. One of those, the result, is what displays on the dice, and value is the text number that displays next to the dice. So, or the final number. So what we're going to do is change that text display. We're going to leave the dice to show what it actually rolled, but the number that's going to be shown as the damage will be from our calculated number here, and then we're going to send this to chat. So let's go and have a look at that in action. Okay, so our sword, we click on the sword roll. We rolled a 6. We can see there's a 6 on the dice. We can see our message says damage roll rolled a 6. And when we look up the array here, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, a 6 equates to a 4. So we've actually got a 4 and sword damage of 4. We'll do another one with dagger. Lucky 6s. 6 equates to a 3. Okay, that's it for today's video. That's a relatively simple one. It did take me a long time, and mostly because I needed to send that node. I couldn't work out another way to do it. I need to spend more time working on that. But my workaround for the moment seems to work, and there's always more than one way to skin a code cat. Thanks.